music stuff. I've been doing music off and on for 24 years. Yeah, about 24 years. So this is going to be basically our crash course. Anything you need to know, it might not go the most in depth, but it should give you the tools that you need. So let's start with tuning. We're going to go in standard tuning, which means actually before we get into tuning, you can get a guitar tuner for your phone for free. There's stuff like that. You can go and buy a guitar tuner as well, which will just it won't do the work for you, but it will show you when you're close to being right or when you are right, in tune. So top string E, string below that. So this one right here, A. What's going on? D's next, right? So we've done half the guitar now. E, A, D. So underneath that is G, B, and then E again. So the top and bottom string are the same. All right. So one thing with this tuning, you can pretty much go across the neck on the fifth fret, and so the frets are these, right? These metal bars. So if you aren't pressing on one, it's open, right? No pressing. So if I did it right here, I'm going to do it close to the fret, but not on it, like right above it. See? So that'd be the first fret. So we're going to go down to 5, and this one, it happens to be where the dot is, where that first dot, okay? So I'm going to press the first fret on the first string and hit the first and second string, right? You want them to sound the same. Close enough. Now we're going to do it again, move down a string. So second and third string right here. Sounds all right. Do it again, down a string. There you go. Now, this one, we're going to go to the fourth fret instead, all right? So, not the top string, not the one below that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, not the bottom one, not the one there, right above it, but right above that, fourth fret. Right there. All right? Now we're going to go back to 5 on the string below that. So that's kind of how you can tune by ear. If you can get the top string in tune, you can use that. And like I said, this is going to be a crash course. I'm going too fast. And all that. I know I'm not giving everyone, like, this is for people that are just starting and people beyond that too, right? I'm basically going to show as much as what I can of how to play, of how to get people started, and just you don't need to know everything about the instrument to be able to play the instrument. You know what I'm saying? So what's going on? Now, you can use a pick or you can use fingers and hand style. So either way, the hand style can be tougher for people and all that. I'm still not the best at it. I've been playing for a long time, but for a long time, I'm okay with my fingers like this, like not today apparently, but I've done that on bass live at shows back in the day and all that, but I'm much better with pick. So, play around, figure it out. And now this hand is the important one, the one that's either picking or doing that. Everyone thinks that the hand on the neck is important. It is, but this one's the more important one, okay? Because without this, you don't have much. Don't get me wrong, you can make noise without it, but this one dictates a lot. So we're going to start with just down picking. That's how everyone starts. So it's just make this in a down motion. Now, people can hold the pick however they want. This is personally how I do it. You know what I'm saying? I do it this motion. It's easier for me. I don't need to put my whole arm behind it or anything like that. So just down picking. Yeah, I do. Um, Felix, just you know what? I will send it to you. I don't know what it is right hand, but it's punk guitar. One word. Um, so yeah. But let me think. Okay, so down picking is just that. It's simple. Can get boring, right? And I'm just doing single notes, but people do this. This is how the Ramones wrote, you know? But so with that, now you can do single notes, you can do full chords, however you want to go about it. But really, hey, that can get boring quick for people, especially just starting. You know, they feel like, at least I did, well, I'm not making any progress. Well, you can start moving the pick around and trying to hit different strings with, you know, just down picking. Like, get it traveling. I mean, if you're just starting out, anytime you hit a string, it's playing it. So you're already playing it. It's just wanting to play it better. That's usually what people are meaning when they're like, well, I'm going to learn how to play. So tremolo. Will hear this a lot and stuff. And right now, I'm just going to show you on the top string, but these techniques can happen anywhere, right? So it's just down, up, consistently. Surfing stuff uses this all the time. All right, you can do that wherever, however. So, all right. Let's see. Now, alternate picking is a little bit different. Right now, I'm doing a lot of single note stuff. I'm going to do chord stuff here in a minute too. But as far as alternate, what that means is not just straight up down, right? Like down up, like it'd be more like just any way that it's mixed up. So that is what is meant by that, and it's a mixture of the down, up, and different patterns, right? So it might be. Now you can do that wherever you want, however you want. And these set of strings, this is something that is what's going on. All right. Here's a technique that people do with this hand, right? It's another picking one, but it's different. Now with finger picking, you can still do it, but what you're gonna do, it's called palm muting. You rest your palm right on the strings, right? Not with a lot of pressure. You want to deaden a little bit. And this even happens with thrash, stuff like that, right? So you see, I'm not holding anything right there. And people do it with chords too. So now, another way you can do it, because a guitar can sound like percussion as well. See, my palm's not touching at all. My fingers are laying on the strings right there, but it's just muting. Now, this, I could hit all the strings, right? Q. But, all right, front man, that's cool. Like I said, I'm just trying to show people that are starting and all that. The harder stuff will happen as this video keeps going. All right, so muting strings and percussive playing, which I brought up before, which happens a lot more than what people think, especially in different styles, especially in like bluegrass, country, some rock and roll, stuff like that. The rockabilly too. the percussive. So I'm gonna mix a chord with a single note, right? But there's different ways you can do it. So I'm just gonna hit the top string, and then do the chord, right? There's a song that I have that's basically like this. Yeah, that. Thanks, man. And that's what I'm kind of trying to show here, because that's what Johnny Cash and a lot of the rockabilly stuff did as well. And that's not something that I was shown when I was learning. Now, I did take lessons for a little while when I was a teenager, but I learned most of the stuff through, studying for myself. Really, just different ways. And this is the kind of stuff that I wish was shown to me earlier. The guy that I was taught by, great dude, Wally, he's a jazz player. He's actually a jazz composer. So I didn't get shown in the way that I'm showing you. Like, a lot of times teachers will say, well, don't rest your finger on the string below it. Well, what if I want to deaden it? You know what I'm saying? Maybe my control is not the best yet, and I want to deaden the string underneath because I know I'm going to hit it possibly, right? Well, I'm going to rest my finger on it then. But a lot of teachers will be like, okay, you want to make sure that your finger is not resting on the string underneath. Yeah, a lot of times that's the case. Sometimes you want that though. Sorry, that was going off on a tangent real quick. So, all right, hammer-ons. So, what that means is I'm not gonna press the fret then play. Say I play this one right here, the third fret. Now I'm gonna use another finger to come down onto the fifth. So that's gonna be a hammer-on, right? So you can also do the opposite, pull off. So I'm going to play the 7, pull off, and go to the 5. Now with this, some people will want to bend the string and release to give it a little bit more snap. And that can happen. I do stuff like that, like with the... And you can do double pull-offs as well. Because with this, I'm doing one stroke with this, and my hand's doing the rest of the heavy lifting. So with pull-offs, and it doesn't need to be from something you already have fretted. You can do it from open too. So there you go. And with chords, that's a little bit harder to do. Kind of the hammer-ons and pull-offs, but it's not. If you're doing percussive style playing, then it can fit in, because I've been messing with this thing for a while. Well, so you can use hammer-ons with chords as well, like I said. So that is something you can do. Like I said, I'm just running through, trying to get people that are new to this. You don't need to do all this to be able to play. If you can just do that, you're playing the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? But these are just different techniques and stuff like that, mainly, that I'm talking about on here. So slide. I'm going to strike once with the pick. That's it. We're going to go 3 to 5. I'm going to keep the pressure on and slide to the 5th fret from the 3rd. Right? So you can slide whatever way you want. You can do it with chords as well. So there you go. Bends. I'm going to go over to the bottom string for this, just for the hell of it, change it up a little bit. But a bend is just when you hit the string, right? And then you push it or pull it. Since I'm at the bottom, I'm going to push it so it doesn't come off the neck. You can even push it back and forth. People can do that with chords too. So, another technique. All right. Let's see. Oh, one finger chords. We're to the chords part now. So, if you just want to start playing chords, and this is something that I was not really knowledgeable about at all until the last year or two. I didn't know that people like ZZ Top were using one finger chords. So, we're going to start with open fret on the second string. I'm not going to tell you the names on these just because if you're just starting playing, play around with these, you can start writing right away pretty much, right? Second fret on the third string. So not the top, not the E, not the A, but the D right here. So that's it. Now move that down a string, meaning open D string right here, third one. So not top, not down, this one. And the string underneath. Now, you can even do that with the top string and second string. So, now what I was talking about with muting strings. I'm going to put my finger on the third fret, top string. I'm going to rest it against the second string. So I'm going to hit it, I'm going to hit through it, and I'm going to hit the third string as well. So top three, the first one's fretted, the third one's open, and the second one is muted. See, my finger is resting on it. So, right there, you have 4 chords. So, from there, we'll go to a 2-finger power chord. All right. So, we're going to start on the top string. This is fully movable, this shape, okay? So, why not? We'll go for the third fret, top string. Now, string right below it, second string, we're going to go to the 5th fret. Just hit those 2 strings. Now, on the top 2 strings, you can move it down, see, to the second and third string. Now, we can start writing stuff. You know, it's just something that you can move around easily. You can even do it on the third string. A lot of people don't, but you can. Like third and fourth right there, see? And why the chord is this way up here, why these work, is it's the power chord, but you can't fret where there's nothing, right? So it's open. So these are basically power chords too. Now with power chords, there are different ways to do them. You can play just the top 2, or you can play 3, right? At the same time. So we'll go 3rd fret on the top string, 5th on the second, and then 5th on the third, right? There you go. Now this note and this note are the same thing. You hear that? I'm muting the one in the middle. So it makes it a little beefier. And then there's full power chords, right? Which, if you're new to playing, it's going to be tough. All right, because it was tough for me, and sometimes my fingers still get in the way, and I still mute it because I don't use this kind of chord all the time, even though it is in open chords a B and an F as well. So, which we'll get into in a minute. But all right, so 3rd fret again, 5th fret on the second string, 5th fret on the third string, 4th fret, and the string under that. Okay? And your finger, this one right here, is going to bar all the way across. Now, why is it a problem for me? This neck isn't the biggest. My fingers are a pretty good size, but you might run into this problem too. Here's my knuckle. It's at the bottom edge of the guitar. Right? Right there. That's where the bend is. And my finger, it is covering that top string, but barely. Not barely, but it is hanging up a little bit, but it just doesn't have the best. So right here is really where the problem is for me. Right in there. But here you go. Right? So if you have a bigger hand, or longer fingers, you might not have as much of a problem. But yeah, that. So wherever you want. And this works on the top string and the one right there. Yes, Felix, yes. I'm just telling people kind of, like I said, this isn't necessarily for people that have been playing for a long time. Maybe there'll be something in here that you'll get something out of, but I've been, at this point, I know all I don't know is some of the chords and stuff like that, but it's because it's chords I've never played, right? Anything else, like I don't know scales, but I know how to write a song. I like more of the creative aspect of it. And especially when people are starting out, that's usually kind of where they come from. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm kind of hoping it helps out with. All right, so kind of got into where the same notes are. I am gonna do a quick neck layout, okay? Now, this isn't something that you need to know or anything else, but if you choose to, cool. So, how the notes are laid on the guitar, I'm only going to show you the top string because it's universal. I hear that, Felix. So, top one is an E string. The first fret is an F. The fret under that is not a G. It's an F sharp. G is right here. So E and F are right next to each other. Always, all the time, right next to each other. There's always going to be a space between F and G. Always. Okay? Same thing. There's a space, then there's an A. There's a space, then there's a B. But to get to the C, there's no space. So B and C are right next to each other. Same thing with E and F. So that's really it. So this next string is an A. That means B's here, C's here, D's here, E's here, F's here. So now you know where the notes on the guitar are. Whatever the first note in a chord is, that's what the name of the chord is. So take for an example, an E. That's going to start, especially if it's up here, usually open top string. So here's another weird thing that might help you too is, okay, we know the E's here. Now I already said that this note and this one right here are the same thing, which means this is an E. Okay? So if I'm playing this chord, just the top three, right? That means I'm playing two notes. All right, we'll get into open chords. It's gonna be fast, so bear with me, all right? We're gonna start with an A and go through G. So top string, not top string, but second string, open. Second fret on the D string, which is the third, right there. Second fret, the string under that as well, and the bottom string is open. Now, I don't care how you grab it, how I grab it is like this, 3 fingers, right? But you can even just bar with one, as long as you don't Rest anything on that bottom string, let that ring out. However you do it, it's however you do it. Now B is a bar chord. It's going to be on the second fret of the second string, the A string. So this one. All right. So it's that chord I showed earlier with all your fingers. So second fret, fourth fret, fourth fret, third fret, second. Now, C, this is a chord that people have trouble with. I used to have a lot of trouble with it. Now I'm a little bit more comfortable with it because I've been using it more often. But especially if you're starting out, this is going to be a tough one. So, second string, third fret. The D string, third one right here, see? That one is going to be second. Then open, then first. So, like I said, I'm going to go too fast. Now we're going to the D chord. So, third string is going to be open. That's a D string. So not top, not the one under that, but the one under that. Then that's second fret, third fret, second fret. Okay. So that brings us to E, which is open top string, second fret of the second string, string below that, second fret, top fret of the string under that. So on the E string, it's open. The A string, it's going to be the second fret. D string, it's going to be second fret. And then on the G, excuse me, it is going to be the first. And then the bottom two are open. Now, basically, move that shape down one chord, one fret, bar the top, and you have an F. Now for a G, there are different ways you can play this, play it however you want, but the way that I started originally was third fret on the top string, second fret on the string below that, third fret on the bottom string, and hit them all. I've also heard where you can use a top finger, same fret, third, put some, just lay your finger across that second fret, second string, and then the bottom two strings are going to be third fret. But you can also do that with the second fret on the second string too, if you want. So however you want to do it. Not a lot of difference in sound. All right. Moving some stuff around because I'm going to show you something real quick so you can learn some on your own, not just the stuff I'm showing you. All right. Yeah, we'll do this. Now, I showed you an E. There's majors, there's minors, all that. Let me see what this E is. It's right here. Now, this is a chord chart. You see that? Now, over here, you notice how this one all the way to my right, over here, has a 0 above it. That means you hit the string, but you don't fret it. Okay? You see how there's fingers, well, not fingers, but dots on the, what symbolizes the second fret, and then the first fret, and then it has the opens. So that means those are open, and those are the frets you press, right? That's really that simple. I'm going to try to find one where you don't, There are plenty of different ways to make a chord. Okay, this one has an X. See that X? Hopefully you see that X. Right there. That means you don't hit that string. So that's how you do that. Okay, let's see. You can also mix notes and chords. That's kind of what I covered a little bit earlier with percussive playing and all that. But that's what a lot of thrash bands and just bands in general do. And it's not just for solos, it's also for rhythm. And I'm a rhythm guy. I'm not a solo guy. In one band, I think I wrote one solo, which was kind of more rhythm, maybe two. I just don't do them. It's not my thing. But you can mix stuff around. Let me think. All right, so there's a song that my band does that it's gonna be simple, and this is the way to show you. So I've already covered in this earlier. Open second fret, open second string, second fret on the string below it. Okay. So but all that was so that might seem really, really difficult when you're starting out, and I get it, but that is something that you can do. There's also, like I said, Johnny Cash, a lot of bands have used stuff like this, a lot of genres, especially like folk like genres and stuff like that. The percussive playing, there's a song that I have that I think I used in one of the movies, but I've also done live once, and I might actually record coming up. We'll see. But it has one chord that I didn't show you earlier. It's going to be an A minor and an E minor. Actually, I'll show you 3 minor chords because I use them in this. But okay, for A minor, open second string, second fret, and the string below that, second fret, string below that, and then top fret first, right? So for E minor, open, top, second fret, rest open. And in the break part, it has a D minor, which is a lot like a D, but one finger different, right? So with a D, it's open third string, not third, yeah, third, D, second, third, first. So your bottom string you're gonna have first, then third, and the string above that, second above that. But with percussive playing, it's there's stuff like that, or I'm just doing that D minor I showed you, and it's a hammer on. So let me see how much battery I got left. All right, not much. So covered a lot of stuff. What I'm gonna show next real quick is top string, bottom string are the same. Now with pull-offs and stuff like that, I can do this with, actually, I can do it with a pick too. May as well do it with a pick. Yeah. You can double up on stuff, so you can slide down and back up, or whatever you need to do. With this, when I am doing the pull-off, I am also bending down. I'm releasing to give it a little bit more snap, hopefully, right? To make it louder, because if I don't hear that compared to so or if I wanted to. You know, that's just something I've been messing around with for years. That's the reason I'm able to pull it off the way I do. But hopefully, this 35 minutes will help somebody. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different styles, a lot of different chords. Yeah, I can play electric as well, but with this kind of video, I thought the acoustic would just be easier. So, all right. So before I go, I'll just cover the basics of tabs. Usually with tabs, what it will be is there'll be 6 lines, right? Top to bottom. And they all represent different strings. The numbers will represent the, you know, basically where your fingers go. And it's not going to have how many times you hit it or necessarily the strumming pattern with it or whatever. It might not. You never know. You know, they're all different. So, they usually will have letters too. So symbols will have meaning. Meaning, if it's a slash, that probably means slide. You know what I'm saying? Though a lot of them do come with letters to let you know what it is you want to do. And there's plenty of videos out there and stuff to teach you how to read tabs. So for the rest of it, I think I covered it pretty decent. Maybe not the best, but I tried to cover it fast. Oh, also there is a lot of stuff that you might not see yourself doing as you play or whatever, but you might actually end up leaning that way as you go. The reason I say that is with one of my old bands, we wrote music really fast. And for me to be able to differentiate what I have written, I had to start bringing in different techniques. That's the way I found out about deadening the strings, just by resting your fingers on them. You know, it's not the craziest thing in the world, but to electric with some distortion, it sounds different, of course. But with that, that's the reason I figured some stuff out and, you know, started doing different things. So over time, you might start doing different things too. If you don't want to use open chords, that's fine. Eventually, you might use some. Back in the day, I didn't use them in stuff I wrote. Now I do, you know, here and there where appropriate, but whatever works for me. But the main thing is, if you want to write something, just go for it. You can do it. I mean, I've been doing this stuff for 26 years and actually 24. Yeah, 24. And just play whatever it is you want to play. If you want to start a band, cool. If you don't, cool. But also know the way I am now is I won't be part of anything unless I can bring myself to it. I have to be able to write for it. And if I can't write for it, I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be a collaborative thing. And I'll play stuff that other people wrote, but I have to be able to bring my stuff to the table too. So don't be afraid to sound different and everything else, because the way that I play might not be the best, but it's made me stand out throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? I've had people tell me, well, if I hear one of your songs, I know it's one of your songs. And that means something. So do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to play any one style or anything else. Just do what it is that you want to do. You know, and I gave you basically an idea of the techniques and stuff like that, because back in the day I thought guitar was hard. It's just putting the time in, really, because none of this stuff is natural. You know, like people play different, but doing these small movements, not natural for everybody. That fine muscle movement. And then it's also a lot of things come into play. Finger size, action on the guitar, how far the strings are from the fretboard. The fretboard is this, the wood, right? All that. You know what the strings are, but for the way they are, and also the thickness of strings. Bass is harder to play because the strings are thicker, okay? It can be a little bit more murder on your hand. There's a 5-string bass in this house that my brother has that I really don't want to play because it kills my hand. What was that, homie? Ugh. Yeah, exactly. That's the way I see it. And that's basically what I'm trying to get across. Like, that's the reason I did the other channel in the first place, because I didn't see what I wanted to see. And I know that this one was kind of long winded, being like 40 minutes long, but at the same point, I wanted to show basically everything that I had to show in that one. And that one I have examples of how to, just kind of throw songs together and stuff like that. And I didn't do that in this video, but people can figure it out and do their own. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to influence anybody on what to do or how to do it. I'm just telling you, hey, here's the techniques. I'm a technique guy. There's stuff that I wrote by coming up with stuff that was just kind of practice for me. Like, not necessarily even practice, but just a part that I play because I learned something and I wanted to keep with it. Like, there's one that we have. It's gonna sound like Motorhead in the beginning, but we even call it Motorhead. So used to this hanging so much so on me when I play it. I mean, it's on electric and stuff usually, but full band and all that. But that's what I'm used to hearing anymore anyway. But that's just because I realized, okay, Lemmy does this a lot. Okay, well, that's going down to 7, 7 and 5, 7 and open, same thing. Doubling up, right? So sounds mean. Then it's power chord on 3 on top, sliding down to 5, sliding down to 6. Slide down to 5. I mean, slide 6 back to 5. Yeah. Now I used to breaking it up. Used to just playing it. So slide down 3 to 5, 6 to 5, 6 to 5. So. But yeah, it's just putting stuff together and all that over time. I didn't think I'd write something like that, you know what I'm saying? But there's even one that, like I said, you never know where you're going to end up. There's another one we have, and how it starts out is actually, I think it's a jazz chord. I don't know exactly the name of it. Doesn't matter. I started on, 7 on the second, yeah. 7 on the A. So it's 7, 8, 9, right? Sounds better on electric. I need to change